Cinema is an art based in physics. Images projected through space over intervals of time. The illusion of motion by a quirk of human perception. As an alchemy of science, art, and consciousness, cinema is composed of 2 parts optics, 2 parts stagecraft, 1 part glamour with a dash of the prestige. In the early days of cinema, translucent frames of celluloid were pushed past carbon arc lamps, the motion controlled by sprockets and wheels, moving in lockstep. Today, digital pixels are thrown by electric diodes, an illusion, creating an illusion of motion. In its earliest days, the cinema fell in love with action and delivered action stars. In a medium hobbled by its lack of sound, kinetics became its language, and action became its grammar. Later, the grammar proved itself to be ubiquitous. As cinema crossed the globe, kinetics proved to be transferable from west to east, north to south, from the old cultures to those that were barely nascent. In Hong Kong and Korea, the synthesis of action combat from America coalesced with Asian stagecraft and 20th century nihilism. In the 1990s, Hollywood attempted to reappropriate action combat cinema from the East back to the West. John Woo, the most dynamic of the Hong Kong directors, was convinced to try his hand at translating the modified action films back to their original roots. The experiment was discordant and conflicted. Eastern cultural cues are markedly different from those in the West. Even Jackie Chan, the biggest action star on the planet, struggled with the dialectic emotional beats. Finally, Hollywood gave up on importing talent and decided to just remake Asian action films with Western stars and directors. The results were, once again, uneven and, in addition, condescending. Which brings us to action film. The first John Wick film was based on the cliché of vengeance, in this case the killing of a beloved dog. However, in a nod to Asian narratives aesthetics, the dog represents more than a pet. It is the residual of the love he shared with his late wife. Emotional transference is a powerful trope of Asian cinema. Whether the remorse of an assassin over the inadvertent blinding of an innocent bystander in the John Woo film The Killer, or an ex-gangster trying to reconnect with his police brother in Woo's A Better Tomorrow, where action was used as a moral pendulum, as each brother felt the sway of his undulating moral compass. The idea of the kinetic engagement can develop character and motivate emotional and psychological themes was never a centerpiece of Western cinema. It was always used in the West as a tool to express inner drives or conflicts, as a way to give visuals to the psychological motivations and conflicts that were existing within the character. In the film Shane, the titular character played by Alan Ladd is defined by his reticence to engage in violence. It is the reservation, the coiling before the strike, that defines the character. In John Wick, there is no coiling, no threat of violence. The violence itself is the threat. John Wick moves with a calibrated precision that becomes an opera in and of itself. The use of framed horizontal stage motion, wide shots combined with a camera that is untethered, almost free-floating, gives the violence an immediacy that creates an immersive experience. This aesthetic of immersive kinetic motion has many precedents, not the least of which are the modern video game, that track in a very similar manner. But those games themselves were obviously inspired by the Hong Kong action cinema. Hong Kong director John Woo was the originator of gun fu, a type of performative kinetic violence that changed action films forever. The idea that gunplay was a skill that could be honed and perfected like dancing or martial arts. The Matrix films, starring Keanu Reeves, were the first successful Western translation of gun fu. The use of guns integrated into physical contact gave the otherwise fanciful ideas and conceits of the Matrix a grounded hyper-reality. This augmented reality was known as heroic bloodshed, the honorable use of a weapon normally used to kill at a distance. Wu considered this to be an improvement, a next-generation form of swordplay, something that could be done with honor and respect and dignity, and also connected to combatants in a more physical way. John Wick has given us the ultimate iconographic action star, precision of a martial artist, but with the bloodshed that only modern weaponry can give us. We've moved into a new generation of action star and action hero.